Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Starting with the 144,000 governing body of the nation of Yasha Allah and the men, the women, the children, the true believers in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. May he have mercy on you in these last days. It's your brother, I'm not with Allah, coming back at you with another lesson. And Lord willing, will be edifying. I'm going to play this video, then read some a summary from an article, and then I got the scriptures. And I'm not going to make this long because it sounds to the average person like a broken record, but the reality is the Lord's putting the spirit on the men who sigh and cry to speak on these things daily. The scriptures tells you that the Lord Yahweh Shai, I'll get it real quick, because we're in the time of prophecy, okay? And our Lord Yahweh Shai is about prophecy. This is Revelations 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And that's the truth. The spirit of prophecy is being fulfilled throughout the earth because we're entering into what is basically the end of Esau's world, and Babylon is going down, and we're required to speak on these things. If you say you love the Lord, you want to speak on these things. You want to talk about it. You want to filter through the scriptures, and more important than that, you want to show your due diligence. You want to show the Lord that whatever lot he got you in, you're taking advantage of this time. We don't have much time left. All right. You people that's getting ready for Thanksgiving and Halloween and all that pagan shit again. You're going to see that the men of the Lord were warning you, and you did not take heed. So now you gotta go through this fire, and this is different. What we're about to go through, you're gonna go through it with no protection. That's the point. Now, this is Donald Trump, and I guess this is the Attorney General, and they're addressing how they're going to take out Antifa like they're taking out the cartel. But my question is, what the fuck does Antifa have to do with him sending troops to every city where you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans is? You can't say that Antifa is in every one of those cities. And if they are, they haven't done anything that's warranted what he's about to do. And notice it's always associated with crime-ridden cities. Where do the crime-ridden cities, who are the people that dwell in the crime-ridden cities? You so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. And who did she, when I play this video, you're going to hear her say, we have taken out the cartel. Who's the cartel? Those are Israelites. Even though they're wicked as hell, they're Israelites. All right, at the end of the day. Yeah, they're God's people too. As wicked as they are. That's right. Believe it or not. That's why you black only Israelites, you're going to see. You're going to see, because the prophecy, it doesn't lie. It's giving you everything and more to understand what we should be engaging in at this point. Like the scriptures say, seeing that all these things are going to be dissolved, what manner of conversation and holiness, in so many words, are you to be? Roughly paraphrasing, that's 2 Peter 3 and 10, or I believe 11, 3 and 10 through 11. But the point is, This is all that's on the table at this point. The gig is up. Now let me play this video. Listen to what this woman says. So you got to listen to these motherfuckers, man, because they speak very, very shrewdly. If you look that word up, let me see something real quick. Maybe that's not the right word. Yeah. Shrewd. Having or showing a clever awareness or resourcefulness, especially in practical matters. Okay? Sharp, penetrating. But in this manner, it's deceptive. So really it's perverse. It's misleading. But yet, very shrewd, because people are inclined to listen to someone talk about getting rid of Antifa or the cartel or gangs or crime. Meanwhile, this nigga's about to let Giselle Maxwell out. Pardon that bitch. We don't know how many children she raped and deleted. Right? That's not even talked about no more. Man, I'm telling you. But listen to this shit.
Terrorist organization, which is exactly what they are.
Let me start.
Americans are not going to stop at just arresting the violent criminals we can see in the streets. Fighting crime is more than just getting the back.
Now you heard her. We're not going to stop at just fighting crimes in the streets. Who is in the streets? You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. But Antifa is going to be used as the forefront of a reason to do what the video is really going into, which is the Insurrection Act. All right? And just throw it out there because I got an article pulled up that this nigga is pushing that. All right? They're having conversations about it.
Bad guy off the streets. It's breaking down the organization brick by brick. Just like we did with cartels, we're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from top to bottom. We're going to take them apart. Thanks to your bold leadership and the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, which is exactly what they are, Americans will no longer tolerate their unhinged violence.
Now, the cartel is a very wicked organization. I'm defending them, but terror is basically over the top when you look at what's going on in Gaza right now. This is the hypocrisy of this place. Okay, when you think of all of the terrorist acts that was done to you, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, from the time you was on that ship till you got to this land, and I'm including you Latinos, because you think you're better, that you didn't go through no slavery, but you need to go look your history up and learn about the Taino tribes, okay, and what they did to you, what the Portuguese did to you, the conquistadors. All right, ain't nothing new under the sun, and the same shit is about to happen again. This is why we call it Jacob's trouble. You see, it's going to be trouble for all nations, but it's designed to judge you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and he got the right person in charge. If you was to grade this man on the amount of wickedness and perpetual hatred and evil he's pushing, the Lord got the spirit on him. I'm talking about this guy right here, DJ Trump. And if you was to grade him on his evil, wicked ways, he would get a fucking A. He's doing a phenomenal job. You gotta admit. Nevertheless, we're gonna bring these scriptures out. So this woman just said some bullshit. This is what's really going on. This is Psalms chapter 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. You see how she kept saying Antifa, but she let you know we took out the cartel and we're not stopping with the crime-ridden cities. That's all you jakes, man. That's what this is really about. It is not about Antifa, okay? Antifa ain't really doing shit. I mean, Yeah, they tear up shit, whatever the case may be. They may have some organized things, just like Lives Matter. But at the end of the day, those are controlled oppositions in order to what is it? As is above as below. Halian dialect. I believe that's what it's called. When you create the problem, then you come with the solution. They created Antifa. Now that the solution is let's bring in the National Guard and all this shit to fuck you niggas up. Antifa can just disappear, but it's not going to stop the war that's going to be waged on you people, on you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. It says Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, though. But war was in his heart, and the heart is the mind, Lob. His words were softer than oil, yet they drawn swords. And that's exactly what this woman and this man right here is full of shit. And it's just a matter of time before he gets what the Lord was going to allow him to get. Now I'm gonna go to this article now. The Insurrection Act. Now I went and looked up the Insurrection Act. Just a brief breakdown. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is the U.S. federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy U.S. military and to federalize the National Guard units of the individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder or of an insurrection and of armed rebellion against the federal government of the U.S. The Insurrection Act provides a statutory exception to the Post-Comitus Act that limits the president's deploying the United States military. Now, it was effective in March 3rd, 1807. This man knows what really comes out of this, because when I'm reading this, it'll tell you. Let me see something. Yeah, it's got like, okay, so it says right here, martial law and the Insurrection Act. Martial law refers to the imposition of military control over civilian functions, typically during emergency. While the Insurrection Act allows the military deployment, it does not explicitly declare martial law. However, see, this devil man, however, invoking the act can lead to situations resembling martial law where military forces may take on law enforcement roles. So that's the point. Once this is rolled out, and it's full-fledged in the cities where he's trying to go, which is Chicago, LA, okay, wherever you Jakes is heavily living at, that's where he wants to go, because he's your enemy, and you niggers that voted for him, you're gonna get it. This is what the Lord said for voting for him. I'm gonna read it again. I don't care. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and his horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. None of you do that. Nobody's seeking the Lord right now except the hopeful elect. That's it. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil. See, ultimately, this Insurrection Act, he's going to put the spirit on Donald Trump to do this. He putting the spirit on him to come after you niggas, man. That's who's doing it. But we still got to address him, too, because he's the enemy at the end of the day. And the Lord is using him to do his bidding. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against them that help them that work iniquity. You voting as Negroes. All right. That's the point of that precept. Now, it says the White House officials are considering, see right there, Trump administration seriously discussing invoking the Insurrection Act. See, a title like this really means it's already in play. Why? Because you see the troops everywhere. It's already in play. It's just gradually coming into the headlines, or maybe you don't see it, everywhere. But this article goes back to an MSNBC actual article. All right, I'm just reading it off of this network, Disclosed TV. But it says White House officials are considering President Trump's potential invocation of the Insurrection Act, allowing deployment of active duty troops for law enforcement. That's already happening. ICE is a part of that. All right. But yeah, of course, when you start sending National Guard, then Army, then Marines, this gets serious. And then martial law. Because you know how it's going to go down. They shall not regard their kings, meaning the people are going to rise up. That's why you got uproars and uprisings against the government all over the world. And now it's going to come here to America. It says, this comes amidst Trump's plans to send National Guard troops to cities like Los Angeles and Portland to combat crime. See, I thought this was about Antifa, though. Right? Because that's what she said. She didn't mention Insurrection Act, but she's mentioning how they're tearing apart the cartel. The same people that they're using to tear apart the cartel is the same people they're going to use when they invoke the Insurrection Act and come into your neighborhoods and your cities, start kicking in your doors, taking your children, taking your woman, all right? Taking your possessions. We're going to read it. It says, critics argue the administration is exaggerating issues in these areas. A federal judge recently blocked the deployment of guards to Portland, but Trump stated he would invoke the act if necessary. He's going to do what the fuck he want to do because he's a cruel lord. He is the king of Babylon right now. A president is a king, if you didn't know. It says, the White House discussions have shifted towards timing and the methods for the invocation. So what do they need? They need people to really act out. They need protesters to come out and throw shit at ICE. All right. Maybe, one of them get deleted or something. And then all hell gonna break loose. It says, but wait, when they kill one of you niggas, that shit's gonna be looked at as, you know what? He was a violent man, and ain't gonna be no charges or nothing against the oppressor who done that to you. You gotta understand what we're going into. The safest place to be, Psalms 91, in these scriptures, in the place of the Most High. That's it. And praying, repenting, fasting, keeping our holy days, staying out the way and let the Lord's will be done. It says, should the act be invoked, it could face immediate legal challenges. Governors of Oregon, Illinois oppose troop deployment, claiming there are no riots or law defiance. And it's true. The crime is down somewhat in Chicago. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Because the Lord wants this to happen because you niggas is wicked. That's really why this is happening. All right? And Esau has a perpetual hatred for you. Okay? Let me get this scripture right here. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved? And the Lord answered me and said, write a vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. The vision is what we're talking about. The vision of Jacob's trouble. The vision of martial law. You see shit like that, that's going to be all riding around on your motorcycle, flossing and all that. When martial law gets going and the Insurrection Act, that shit is gonna be over. All you're gonna hear is cries and anguish when when this thing really kicks off. You see, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, plain as it can be, by filtering through the scriptures and letting you know what's coming your way. It says that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. See, this everything that's going on is still hard to think that the type of things that we're seeing overseas and other countries about to come on American soil, like the thing that's happening in Gaza, where they said 83% of the infrastructure is now destroyed. Who did that? Esau, Edom. We're the violent ones. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you're the violent ones. You're the scum of the earth. You're the crime-ridden. You're the criminal. Yet they just committed mass genocide in the name of what? A false claim to a people. Okay. So this is just lies. Okay. Every time they say they're gonna make peace, it's not really peace. It's still war in their heart. This is not going to get better until the Lord returns, Yahushua, to bring peace. In order for that peace to happen, America's got to be utterly destroyed. Not partially, not, 1/3. No, all, to where it's a desert, where it's a memorial. That's what's going to happen here. And it is gradually happening, and Donald Trump was put into place to initiate it. It is going to start with the persecution of the Lord's people. And the persecution is surely going to come down hard on those who know they were Israelites and rejected the Lord, and those who just chose to live a life of idolatry and never accepted this. Okay? It says, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. The Lord said it's going to happen. These things are going to happen. Okay? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. That's why I started off with that Revelation chapter 19, because the Lord, Yahushua, is the spirit of prophecy. Jesus ain't the fucking spirit of prophecy, okay? That's the spirit of get along to get along. That's the spirit of why can't they be saved with us? First of all, ain't nobody fucking saved yet until you're on a chariot. That's number one. Pursuing to Isaiah chapter 26 and Revelation chapter 18. All right? You got to be taken out of here. Salakia. The things that are coming here and the destruction that's coming here was in that vision that Habakkuk was talking about. The vision is very vast. I mean, very immense, Salakia. Meaning it's not just one topic, not just one prophecy. We still got to have the MOTB. We still have to have martial law, which is right here. And of course, all of that is the beginning of Jacob's trouble, which the apostles and the other brothers have confirmed. We are in Jacob's trouble. It's just a matter of time for it spreads and increase. It says, speak the words, like speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in a paper. That links up with Habakkuk, right? The Lord is telling his man to constantly give the news, constantly break down strongholds, and let the people know, his people, what they need to do if it's their lot to be saved, and to let the other nations know their judgment. It says, for they are faithful and true. Right. That's why he said, write it and make it plain upon the table. It will not tarry. It shall come. Just wait. The scriptures tell you to wait on the Lord. It says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee, that speaketh against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. When is that going to happen? Leading up to Jacob's trouble, in Jacob's trouble, at the end of Jacob's trouble. All you unfaithful, unbelieving ass Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans who voted for this devil, that's why a lot of you paying the price now. And if you didn't vote for him and you voted for the other party, it's still the same iniquity. All right. I just want to get that out there too. Oh, well, we voted for Kamala. That bitch wouldn't have did shit, but made it worse as well. You just would have had more moles in office. Not undercover moles, but actually transgender, all type of people running the army, whatever. See, the problem with America is a land of confusion. That's why it's called Babylon. It has the remnants of Rome, Greece, Assyria, all the ancient Babylon, all the ancient civilizations, which were all heathens, and they practiced idolatry, and they were confused individuals or spirits that did not serve Yahweh Shem Shai. It was us that wanted to be like them that's got us in this situation where now we have to experience something that we've never experienced before, pursuant to Daniel chapter 12 and 1. Okay? It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, not just here in America. You see what's happening over there in Gaza? You see what's going to happen in the so-called Middle East, and what's happening in Ukraine, okay, what's happening with North Korea is all part of prophecy. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the whole world. The sword, we know who was blessed with the sword, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. It says famine. We get to witness what a true famine looks like in real time over there in Gaza, and now it's being prepared here in America through the destruction of the farms. All right, and the famine of the word. So you're not going to be able to eat no real food, and you're not going to be able to get no spiritual food. That's a heavy dose of miserableness and uncertainty and perplexity, and then you die. It says, oh, death and destruction. Let me read that again. Behold, 2 Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And we know who the wicked is, pursuant to Job 9 and 24. Okay. We know who the wicked is. It's E, right? And he's perpetuating this wickedness throughout the whole world. And he's coming in the name of being a peacemaker, speaking words that's smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. You got to see that, man. He's waging war on every front of America, including inside of America. Because when he say make America great again, like the elder brother, Elder Malcolm say, he say make America white again. That's all it is. That's all it is. It ain't got nothing to do with having what you niggas want, which is equality, which you'll never get. The true equality is when you are in the kingdom of heaven and you're protected by Yahweh Shem Shai and you're ruling over them. That's equal in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, because he said you are a royal regal people and you're above them. So it's inequality to have them over you. That's the real balance. If you really want to know, okay, that's the real balance. It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So now we're on the brink of the Insurrection Act, which will lead to what? Martial law. So let's get these last precepts. It says, this is 2 Esdras chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection. upon those that fear the Lord. Well, even if you don't know the truth, a so-called Negro, Latin, Native Americans by default fear the Lord. Now, within that, you have the elect that know the Lord, that's seeking your Lord. What is his name? Yahweh, he is. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai, he exists. Okay? Salaki. Yahweh, he is. And Yahweh Shai, he saves. Salakia, slip of the tongue. Okay? And so, the insurrection, you hear it. You got to be able to filter it. It's point. He said he took out the damn cartel. That's what he doing. And then he said we're not stopping, which is the crime that's in the cities. We want to go after Antifa, which again, that's just like sweet, shrewd, manipulating words to say no. I'm gonna use Antifa as the reason, but I really want to fuck you niggers up. All right, that's the truth. And you saw what they did to them black women in Chicago and their apartment complex. It didn't spare the children. They put zip ties on those little nigglets too, man. And get you what you notice? No men in the house, no husbands. So you women out there that don't have a husband, or you take advantage of your husband, or you think you don't need a husband, watch. You're gonna see. When the Lord said, wait for it, I'm going to write a vision, that Jacob's trouble, that's a part of your judgment for you women who don't have a husband, or you played the whore and you left your husband, or even worse, you fucked over a man of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to get you. If he ain't had no mercy on those women and their children, how much more a woman who knew the truth and turned away her protection? Now you don't got no cloak for your sins. It says, 2nd Ezra 16-70 again. It says, for man, Slacky, man. 2nd Ezra 16-70. For there should be in every place and in the cities, in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Salakia. It says, 2nd Ezra 16-70 again. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. You saw what you see. You're seeing what's going on all across the United States in the so-called crime-ridden cities. They're not sparing. He's given the green light to do whatever you need to do to fight crime, to get the stragglers off the street. Who are the stragglers? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, right? You should be teaching this word. And we already know the men of the Lord, we're going to be last, okay? But we're gonna definitely face the same things you all are facing. The difference between us and you, the Lord is going to protect his servants. He said his servants shall eat. Okay? And we believe that. It says, a great insurrection is upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. They shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Didn't we see that? Didn't them women get cast out their houses? And when the Lord allows something like that to go on, that's for us to bring it out, to warn you people, to sound the trumpet, to let you know martial law is coming, that a great insurrection is coming, and you have but a short time. These warnings are not for entertainment. It says, then they shall know who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So the ones that look, all of us gonna go through this. Lord willing, I'm of that number, and my Akim and their families, start with the Apostle Tar on down. When we're tried, we get the victory. We overcome because we knew this was coming already. I'll say it again. You niggas are in the car with no seatbelt on, about to hit a brick wall. We got our seatbelts on and fucking helmets too. So we got a better chance of salvation, which is to be saved from that crash, to be saved from what's about to come here. All right. It says, again, then they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. It says, I'm going to read this last verse. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Who is he going to deliver? Well, it ain't going to be nobody who served him. It ain't going to be nobody who repented and turned back who haven't served him, Salakia, or who haven't turned back and repented to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. There won't be no salvation for you. So you will go through this trouble. You will go through this trouble without any protection, and this damn devil is he's gonna fillet you. Okay, he's a beast. You're gonna be fooled, some of you. The insurrection is just the forefront for martial law. Forefront of martial law is the full-fledged Jacob's trouble, including more than likely the MOTB, because all these things have to happen before the nukes even come. And we're going to have to go through all of that. So, Lord willing, you got some edification out of this, and you understand we are in the last days. We're in some trying times. And you can't take this lightly. So again, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rahakodash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the bishops of Great Millstone, and Shalom.